guys, welcome to OG Cars, and in today's video we are back on the 1974 Wartburg Knight. So this is our blue one that we bought from Northern Ireland, and as you may have seen in the Cafe Machine video, I picked this car up after it sitting for a little while and it had a hard time after that. So it broke down ish at Cafe Machine. I had to top up the water once on the way because the water pump seal was leaking. So that needed attention, and the clutch started slipping at higher revs. It was still going okay, I could get around it, but it wasn't ideal. So it was at that point I decided that it was probably time it needed a bit of work. In the old Wartburg videos we also did a spark plug change and helicoil. Spark plug number 3 needed a helicoil, but I didn't do it. It was literally hanging on by the last threads. And when we went to Cafe Machine, we sort of thought, oh my days, this is a bit hand tight. I didn't really want it to shoot out of the bonnet next time we used it, so we thought we'd give that a bit of attention as well. So after Cafe Machine, the car was transported back here, and I got to work pulling it all apart. We had a snow day on a Wednesday the other week, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to bring the car into the garage here, and I'm going to make it a bit of a workshop. I got the tools out and I just stripped everything apart. It took me about 2.5 hours with a break and a bit of dawdling to get the engine out, which wasn't bad at all. Michael Ryman gave me a lot of help on that, so thanks to him for all of his advice and some of his parts. I think he can get an engine out in 20 to 30 minutes, so yeah, I don't have a patch on Michael Ryman, but I think I did okay anyway. I managed to get the engine out on my own. So I got to work, I changed the clutch and flywheel while it was out, and I also had a clip missing on the release bearing. So the release bearing was a bit noisy anyway, so Michael Ryman supplied me with another one that I fitted, a new old stock one, and I refitted the clips correctly and made sure they were a bit tighter to make sure it wasn't going to come out as well. So with that done, it was basically that side of the engine done, and I could get the engine back in and do the rest. I did paint it while it was out. You may notice it's very, very silver, and that's because I just gave it a quick clean with brake cleaner and went over with Simon's VHT silver, and you know, that was about it. The other thing I did while it was out actually was that water pump seal, and that was a bit of a pain. I want to say thanks to Michael Ryman for his help with that as well, and to Martin Stead, who gave me a bit of advice with that as well. So yeah, I basically just changed the seal, and I have used a bit of silicone to hope that everything stays sealed. Maybe just don't look too close is probably the best idea with that one, but so far it hasn't leaked, so we're going to go with that'll do for now. Maybe one day I'll rebuild the entire engine and do the head properly, but for now I want to get this car to the NEC in Birmingham, so it has to be done for like Wednesday, and today is Sunday, so everything has to be done. So the engine went back in. I got my dad to help me just plop it back in and bolted it back up. So all the other parts were going back on. I thought I'd change a couple of things while I was there. So we've changed all of the coolant pipes apart from the small bridge hose from the bottom of the water pump to the radiator, because I bought the right size diameter, but when it was bent around at a 90 degree, it was just blocking. So I've used the original and I've changed the rest for blue silicone hoses, because the car is blue obviously, and race car, at least 10 horsepower per coolant hose. So that is done as well. And I've just given it a general tidy up. I sort of painted the exhaust. I did have another one here to put on, however, it's the wrong mount type, so I had to clean up the old one. But the rest of the exhaust is broken into a million pieces, so that silencer is all we have. The front of the chassis has been painted black as well, just because I thought it was worth doing while it was all apart. And that's about it. I've put new coolant in there, and I've sort of started to prepare some front badges as well, because I'd like to tidy that up. Next up, I'm going to fit the chrome surround indicators and chrome surround rear lights as well, because I want to make this look the original Knight style as this would have been when it came out. We've had this car running now, so it's quite late at night. I've managed to put everything back together, and I started it up and smoked out the entire garage and had to walk out for a while and had to turn it off as well because it was way too loud. So there we go. I'll have to do a test run on the road on Tuesday, because Monday we're working on the Skoda Fabric, which also definitely won't be ready for the NEC. And then yeah, we'll give it a test run, make sure the coolant is bled, and hopefully the clutch works, and then maybe it'll go to the NEC, hopefully. Also, a thanks to Bella Katriba. I've butchered the pronunciation of that name as well, but he came over from Hungary with some Wartburg parts for me as well, so I've used some of his parts here as well. And here is a part that, well, a tool that Michael Ryman suggested to me. So this is a M14 spark plug repair, sort of re-threading tool, and I used then a helicoil, not of that size, used the smallest length one, but yeah, I put that in the hole. It made it bigger because it's an aluminium head, you don't have to drill it or anything, and then yeah, made the hole bigger, put one of these inserts in, and then I've put new B7HS NGK spark plugs in there. Again, we did them last year anyway, but I thought it was worth doing. Obviously these get tripped up pretty easy. I've got the old ones here. They're also covered in silver paint for some reason, no idea, and yeah, you can see they get a bit oily, obviously, so being a two-stroke. So that's been done, and also I've changed the alternator belt again. I did have my Bosch one on there last year, but again, for some reason it's covered in silver paint. So we've tested it, we know it works, so I've put the front end back on, and Georgina has kindly given it a quick clean in the engine bay for me. Obviously this side looks a lot cleaner because it was new at some stage. This side has got quite a lot of sort of like underseal and wax oil in the corners, but she's cleaned it up as best she can. So yeah, that's about it for now. I'm gonna have to test this in the week, and then hopefully we'll make it to the NEC, and we'll do another video on that. I think we're gonna try and drive it down Thursday morning instead of Wednesday night. And then we're gonna stay obviously for the weekend and have it on the Wartburg IFA club stand. So yeah, there'll be another video on that, so stay tuned for that one, guys. Thanks very much for watching this video, and please pray for me that it's going to get to the NEC. And also, pray and pray that G's Skoda Fabric Forum will make it to the show in one form or another, because we literally spent so long slaving on that car. We got it to work, we've done all the suspension, all the brakes, and unfortunately we had our MOT cancelled on us, and we don't have enough time to get it to another one before we go to the NEC, so we're going to have to spend £1 million getting it transported. And the only things stopping it from getting an MOT now, for some reason, the washers have stopped working and the horns stopped working, so I need to look at that as well. And just pray it gets there, okay? Like, comment and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one.